Well, you guys, we finished the Trap and Tone Challenge with LASHAE for the month of October. And I think it was great. It was challenging. It was amazing. We are so happy with the results, and we hope that, other people will join in for the next challenge and just try it out and see how you feel. So there is another challenge happening in November, okay? So go to the site ifyoucanmove.com. The link is down below in my description box and sign up for the challenge. And don't forget about TLC NutriBurst, and all of the amazing products that they have at TLC. The link is down below to where you can purchase some of those products. I've even gotten my husband into the NutriBurst. I've gotten my husband into the tea, actually, especially if he isn't feeling that great. Sometimes he might have a little stomach issue. He drinks that tea and he feels great like an hour later. So, just saying. Don't listen to me though. All right, but yeah, y'all, just wanted to give y'all an update before we started this video, but yay, we finished. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another Iyanla Fix My Life. Oh yes, okay. This episode was about Lunell. All right, the comedian Lunell, and she basically let us in on her life if we didn't already know. She has an adult daughter named Lunell that she hasn't really been there for. Y'all know she's been trying to make it in Hollywood for a good 30 years now. Okay, you can see stuff from the 90s with Lunell with a nice black hard hairstyle and stuff. I can't remember what she played a police officer on. I think it might have been So I Married an Ex-Murderer. You know what I'm saying? Where she just like one of the little police officers in the background, and she might have had like a little talking scene or whatever, and that was like 93 or something like that. But either way, she's been working for a long time, but she also has this angry black woman kind of vibe about her that I guess people have attributed to her I don't give a fuck attitude that takes place when she's on stage. A lot of people do that. You speak your mind. You are honest about your feelings about things in a comical way. You're an angry black woman. You get that. But in this situation, Lunell herself can say, yes, she is angry. There have been things in her life that have happened that have made her angry. She's also wearing a mask most of the time to protect how she's really feeling about things. So she and Iyanla meet up at a comedy club, and they have a discussion about who Lunell really is and what her issues are. And there are all these bags throughout the theater in chairs as a representation of the baggage that she has to pick up and bring with her to this meeting with Iyanla. So Lunell's daughter is actually a dancer, and she says that her mom is supportive of her and she's supportive of her mom, and she mentions that she often helps her pack up her clothes to leave. It's something that she, does often with Lunell, but it also is something that mirrors what she's gone through with Lunell throughout her life, with Lunell always packing to leave and not being there. And at some point throughout her childhood, they didn't really specify, Lunell left her with her father and her grandmother, and that broke something in Lunell. I feel like a lot of times people think they can just leave their kids for these long extended periods of time and that they just be okay after. And it's like, no, crazy ass, you my mama. You know what I'm saying? You my mama. Like, you were the person who I'm supposed to be with every day. I can't go months without like seeing you on a daily basis and not have a traumatic response to that. That's insane to me. Like, I could not imagine when I was a kid if I had to be away from my mom for more than a few days at a time. Like, no, was not gonna react well to that at all. Just saying. Lunell also says that Lunell takes a very aggressive approach with her. She's one of those mothers where you can't express how you feel to them without them seeing it as a form of disrespect, which is so unhealthy. A lot of them do that. You have got to get out of that mindset. You are not infallible. You are not perfect. There are times when your children should be free to express their disappointments in you or how they feel about you without fear of you flipping out and using your position in their lives as a weapon against them, because that's what it feels like, and that's not how it should be. So Lunell is upstairs and she starts flipping out because the process is taking too long. She was left upstairs by herself for too long. So Iyanla has to come and see about her. And it's like, well, I was working with your daughter, but if I have to come in here to babysit you, we're going to talk about why it upsets you to be by yourself. You have abandonment issues. You have to. So they talk about her issues with her parents and how her dad was murdered by her uncle, her mom's brother. And her mom already had 7 children when she got pregnant with Lunell. So when her brother murders her husband and she's left with these 7 children and one on the way, she decides to give Lunell up for adoption. Okay, so this really hurt Lunell, that somebody who is supposed to be there for you decides they don't even want you before you come into the world. How are you supposed to be emotionally supportive to a daughter when your mom was never emotionally supportive to you? You know, didn't even really want you because of the circumstances that she was in. And that's terrible. But I love that Iyanla always tries to get people to show compassion to their parents and live in their shoes for a second, because I feel like it's important to get perspective. You see your parents as the people that were supposed to do right by you. You see your parents as the 2 large figures in your life that were supposed to do everything right for you. And when they didn't, because most of them don't, because nobody's perfect, you have issues because of it. And instead of dealing with those issues and really trying to understand where your mom was coming from, you adopt this, no, she was wrong and she should have made a better decision and all of this, without any real compassion for your mother, while going through life making some of those same mistakes with your own daughter. So it's like you have to show compassion to your parents, because if not, you'll end up repeating their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? She has this harshness to her, and it's because of that, you know? So, you know, you have to give your people a little bit of slack, because think about that. She is a woman with 7 children already. That's a lot. Her husband gets murdered by her brother while she's pregnant with another child that she doesn't think she can handle. And you don't think that it's important to have context that this person wasn't in their right mind? Like, Lunell didn't even want to hear that. And that's the truth, though. Like, how can somebody go through all of that and, you know, the hormonal changes of a pregnancy, then somebody who you love dying, and another person who you love being a cause of it? That's a lot to go through. And I feel like the fact that Lunell has not figured out yet that there should be some compassion for her mother is one of her main roadblocks. Then Lunell talks about how, of course, like a lot of people, unfortunately, she was touched as a child and nobody helped her. When she told somebody what happened to her, nobody helped her. And Iyanla said, you know, when my uncle did that same thing to me, I crawled under the table to my aunt and told her what happened. And she took me to him and asked him if he had done that to me. And he said no, and nothing was ever done about it. After that, never heard of it, never talked about it. And Iyanla said, you know what I had to understand, though? She didn't have the tools. And Lunell is like, no, they should have just known. They love you. They should care about you. They should just know. And it's like, I think that's so much easier to say. But the realness of the situation is that a lot of people don't know how to handle situations like that because of all of the other factors. Am I going to disrupt my life? What's going to happen if this person is taken away? They always feel like it's easier to let the victim sit with their pain than to actually call out the person who's assaulted somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, but it happens so often. So you know it's a real thing that people don't have the tools, the mindset, or the wherewithal to do something when a child comes to them saying, I've been harmed, I've been hurt. It's unfortunate, it's terrible, but there's a reason for it. And the reason needs to be understood so that we don't continue to make the same mistakes. They bring Donell and Lunell together, and they talk about how Lunell has dominated their relationship. And Donell has often retreated into herself because of the way Lunell will pop off on her, the way she talks to her. Well, because of that, Donell hasn't really been able to express how she feels to her mom, so they can't get past their issues. I love how Lunell was like the perfect person for Iyanla's, whole little situation, because Iyanla is so honest and real with you and is not going to sugarcoat. Lunell is that same type of person. So this was, a receptive situation, and I appreciated that, because I often get so annoyed when celebrities call Iyanla and ask for help, and when she tries to administer that help, everybody wants to get offended like they didn't know who they called. Because it was really hard for Lunell to admit that she was the reason for some of her daughter's pain. It was hard for her to say, but it was a truth that needed to be spoken, because you needed to validate your daughter's pain. You needed to validate what your issues have done to her. Lunell also has to admit that she herself is broken and has not dealt with her own issues, which is why she could not handle her daughter and give her daughter what she needed. Lunell admits to being closed off to her mother and not fully expressing herself. And throughout the episode, Iyanla was very forceful with her, telling her, you need to express yourself to your mother like another grown woman. And y'all both need to understand that that mother-daughter relationship is gone now. You can't get those years back. That's why it's important to be there for your children and be prepared for them so that you can give them all of your time and attention while they are children. Because once they're adults, they don't need you in that same capacity, and you can't come back around and try to mother an adult. That's not going to work. So now y'all have to work from a space of being two adult women and work on that relationship, because that's where y'all are now. And I think a lot of people have a tough time with that. They don't know how to transition from having a mother-daughter or father-son or whatever, but a parental-child relationship. They don't know how to transition from that to an adult relationship, which has to be a place of mutual respect to some extent. Parents as well as the children. You can't talk to another grown woman, whether that's your daughter or not, and expect her to speak like a child. She's not a child. And Lunell, you know what I'm saying? Lunell has to understand that this is the person you've created. So if you're going to be upset at anybody, you have to be upset at yourself about the problems you created in your daughter by not fixing your own issues beforehand. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget that I'm sure her daughter felt like she was taking a backseat to Lunell's career much of the time. The daughter also, felt that her mother paid for her to go to school and she was able to finish school without debt. So, she feels like her mother's career and lifestyle has afforded her a lot of good things in life, but it's also taken a lot of vital, important things from her, like time. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was a really good episode. And I think regardless, it speaks on how it's very important to pay attention to your children. It's very important to care about their feelings and stop thinking that just because they're resilient, that you're not giving them baggage to carry with them throughout their lives that won't eventually show up in negative ways in the way they handle their own kids, or the way they handle you, or the way they handle other people in general, life in general. It's important to care and to think about all of that. And I know it was back in the day, but in 2020, if you got to leave your child, the K. Michelles of the world and all of that, y'all need to get them cheering therapy so that they can work through their abandonment issues. Because if you think that your child doesn't have abandonment issues when you leave them for extended periods of time, you're sadly mistaken. I'm just saying. Stop thinking that you're not hurting them because you was doing what was best for them overall. It doesn't matter. The hurt still happened. So now you have to try to fix it before it shows up, at an adult age with a separation and emotional connection from your child, which will be painful because at some point you will have to rely on them in a way that you haven't in the past. But yeah, y'all, Lunell fixed my life. It was good. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And please subscribe to my other channel, Relax with Blue. I'm trying to get that channel monetized. So, yeah, y'all, I appreciate everybody's support and love and all the information and everybody reaching out. Like, I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have no idea what a comfort it is to know that y'all really rocking with me. And it's not just about, YouTube. It's also about me and what I give, to your life. So thank you so much. And I will see y'all in the next one.